Before Afrobeats became a global movement, before streaming numbers and sold-out arenas, there were three young men trying to harmonize their way out of obscurity. And one of them would later release a song that the entire continent still sings today. But here's what many people don't realize. That global success came from a group that didn't survive its own greatness. This is the story of Plantashun Boiz. And if you truly want to understand Nigerian pop culture today, you have to go back to them. Late 90s, Nigeria's music industry was still raw. There was talent, yes, but structure, not quite. In Enugu, three young artists, Baba, Blackface and Faze, found each other through music. They were young, hungry and influenced by American R&B, but rooted in Nigerian rhythm. They weren't just singing, they were blending harmony in a way Nigerian audiences hadn't fully heard before. When they formed Plantashun Boiz, the name itself felt symbolic, planting something new. Their debut album, Body and Soul, introduced a smooth, romantic, melodic sound. Then came Sold Out, and suddenly they weren't underground anymore. They were everywhere. Campus hostels, wedding receptions, road trips, radio dedications at midnight. They were the voice of young love in the early 2000s in Nigeria. But success tests people differently, and it's tested them.
I want to take shot at him and they say, is he taking shot at Two-Face? No, if I want to take shot at him, I'm going to call him straight up. If Fayomaru Gay added his name to Let Somebody Love You, that's my song. So why would Two-Face go and sing Let Somebody Love You without calling me and caught in regards to the legal?
What is the deal?
You know, say some things they pain, but you know go fit.
We don't leave out.
No, we are not boys anymore, no Plantashun Boiz, we're Plantashun men. What I think Two-Face has played his part by keeping quiet, you know, about his situation, not talking about it a lot. Blackface, I think Blackface is really bitterly hurt, you know, but there's some things you don't have to take to the media.
When groups rise fast, tension often rises quietly. Creative differences, direction, money, recognition. By 2004, something had shifted. Baba made a decision to go solo. He signed with Kenny's Music and released Face to Face. And then the song came, African Queen. That record didn't just become a hit. It crossed borders, it played internationally, it became one of the earliest Nigerian songs to gain massive global recognition. But here's where the story gets complicated. Blackface later publicly claimed he had contributed to the writing of African Queen and did not receive proper credit. And once accusations enter friendship, things rarely stay the same. Interviews followed, public statements, years of subtle and not so subtle tension. The brotherhood fractured. Plantashun Boiz officially split, and Nigeria's music will never be the same again. Now let me pause here. If you were around in the early 2000s and Plantashun Boiz meant something to you, make sure you drop the first song you remember about them in the comments right now. And if you enjoy deep dives into Nigerian music industry like this, subscribe now. Now let's continue the story. After the split, each member stepped into his own spotlight. Baba became one of Africa's most decorated artists. Awards, international collaborations, longevity. Blackface continued his solo career, determined to carve his own identity beyond the group. Faze maintained a loyal fan base and released multiple projects of his own. But here's what's interesting. The split didn't weaken Nigerian pop music, it expanded it. And for the first time, young artists saw that a group could break up and the individuals in the group could still thrive. That template will later show up again. Groups rise, groups success, it comes and it goes, internal tension builds, then the split. You've seen it before. Plantashun Boiz were simply the first major modern example. There were other blueprints like More Hits, P-Square.
Girlie, why you do me so? Tell me why you have to go. Why did you have to find another brother? Really why you have to go? All this I have to know, cause all man thought say we were meant to be together.
In 2007, there was hope. They reunited briefly and released the Plan B album. Fans felt nostalgic. Maybe this was healing, but the reunion didn't last. Years later, they appeared together publicly again, sharing a stage during Sound Sultan's memorial. It was emotional. It felt bigger than music. But public unity doesn't always erase private wounds. Today, a full comeback seems unlikely. And maybe that's the reality we have to accept. Not every legendary group gets a perfect reunion tour. Sometimes the legacy is in the impact, not the ending. Now, Plantashun Boiz did something critical. They made Nigerian R&B feel modern. They proved you could blend global influence with local identity. They were the bridge between old and the global wave that will later become Afrobeats dominance. Without them, the path for the future artists may have looked very different. They planted something, and whether together or apart, the industry is still harvesting it. So here is the real question. Is their story a tragedy, or is it simply an evolution? Maybe Plantashun Boiz were never meant to last forever. Maybe they were meant to start something that kicked off the Afrobeats we enjoy today. Well, if you enjoy this, make sure you like and make sure you subscribe. We're moving to another chapter that shaped Nigerian music history. So I want you to stay with me. Until the next video, my name is Teddy. Peace.